Hello, and welcome to Mystic Artistry Podcast. This is Susan, and this is where we reflect on creativity, intuition, and the quiet ways we come to understand ourselves through story, through nature, and through what we're often just beginning to notice. Lately, we've been exploring what lives beneath our words, the quiet language, the subtle movement underneath. And today I want to stay there, but listen in a different way. What if the deepest knowing within you never needed words to begin with? What if the part of you that understands has always been there, quietly listening, long before you tried to make sense of anything? Lately, we've been exploring something subtle, the language we may have forgotten, the quiet movements beneath our thoughts, the currents that exist just below the surface. And today, I want to stay there, but not to analyze it, not to define it, just to notice it. There are moments when something inside you shifts before you can explain why. A feeling, a pause, a tightening, or a softening. And almost immediately, the mind rushes in to interpret it, to label it, to organize it, to make it make sense. But what if that first moment, that subtle shift, was already the understanding? We've been taught to trust what we can explain, but there is another kind of intelligence, one that doesn't speak in sentences. It speaks in sensation, energy, instinct, and resonance. It's the moment you walk into a room and feel something you can't name. The moment a piece of music moves through you and tears come before you even understand why. The moment your body says no before your mind finds a reason. But you know it's real. The moment your body says no. There was a time in my life when I was performing regularly, playing piano and singing in hotel lounges late into the evening. And one night, there was someone sitting in the audience, quiet, attentive, just listening. And on the surface, there was nothing unusual. He was well put together, kind in his manner, easy to speak with. But the moment he approached me during a break, something in my body shifted. Not dramatically, not loudly, but unmistakably. A feeling moved through me, like a quiet wave of discomfort, a kind of inner pulling back. And I didn't have a reason for it. There was nothing I could point to and say, this is why. And yet, every part of me was saying no. He asked me if I would go for a walk after the show. And I declined, gently, politely, but firmly. And I think about that moment sometimes, how easy it would have been to override that feeling, to explain it away, to be polite, to not want to seem rude or uncertain. But that quiet signal, that subtle knowing, was already complete. It didn't need my understanding. It only needed my willingness to listen. And later, I came to understand just how important it was that I did. Not every moment in life will feel that clear, but the body doesn't speak louder in more important moments. It speaks the same way every time, quietly, consistently, and always first. This intelligence does not argue. It does not justify itself. It does not need permission. It simply is. And maybe we don't need to get better at understanding everything. Maybe we need to get better at not interrupting it. What would it feel like to trust that first signal? Not the story that follows, not the explanation, but the initial knowing. Because somewhere along the way, we learn to override it, to second guess it, to silence it in favor of logic or approval or certainty. But it never left. It just softened, waited, adjusted its volume to match how willing we were to listen. And the beautiful thing is, it doesn't demand anything from you. You don't have to force it. You don't have to chase it. You only have to become still enough to notice. So maybe today, there's nothing to figure out, nothing to solve, nothing to explain, just something to feel. Even if it doesn't make sense, even if you can't put it into words, you might gently ask yourself, what if this is already the answer? And just let that sit. No pressure, no urgency, just space. As always, I'm listening.